Hello, everybody. My name is Lara Cardillo. I'm a Brazilian student of Neuroarchitecture, and today I will present to you my final work from the first module of the Continuing Information Program, where I proposed a remodeling of nutrition, aesthetics, and well-being clinic called Flor de Lis. In English means lis flower. Thinking of an alternative side of nutrition, what had also guided the project. So let me share my screen. So at the beginning of the project conception, I thought about the current condition of the clinic and their weakness to achieve the best solution for the situation. The clinic has a high flow of attendants, mostly women, and the waiting time is approximately 40 minutes. In addition to the clients that eventually use that space, I prefer to direct my attention to the secretary that mostly relates with the environment. So I created a character called Jasmine Hernandez and considered an atypical situation where she was diagnosed with attention deficit and hyperactivity. From these issues, I adopted some objectives to reach on the final proposal, considering that the wait moment is not that pleasant. Then I came to the conclusion that I wanted to offer an environment that allows a sense of comfort, belonging, and security, lowering stress levels and anxiety for users. Focus on Jasmine's health situation. With those objectives, I created a concept that came from the following question: why does a clinic need to look like a clinic? With that question in mind as a design guideline, I aimed to minimize the user's attention on the waiting time, transforming the experience into something pleasant. And based on this concept, I placed the floor plan on the center of the panel, and from it I started to draw third-dimensional scenes of the proposal, showing some points about the project. Each point, like here, has a quotation marks to indicate the research book or website made from reliable sources like Cielo, Plus One, ANFA, and below, in blue, I used my words to explain my choices and specific points. For the project elaboration, it was considered the five main senses that provides environment perception by humans, like sight, smell, touch, hearing, and taste. So, considering sight sense, wooden materials were chosen both on the walls and on the balcony. In this place, I used Syngonium seedlings, which presents resistance and durability indoors. These elements were chosen from researchers at Biophily Field, specifically Stefan Colarelli's studies, who talks about the effect of natural elements on humans' bodies in relation of reducing stress, anxiety, and increasing users' attentional capacity, which also called my attention because of the Jasmine's health situation. In terms of smell, I proposed an ultrasonic wood aromatizer that can be controlled by cell phone. Associated with the ultrasonic aromatizer, I proposed a lavender oil because of this research that I found about aromatherapy made with nurse students of São Paulo University in Brazil. And they made an experiment with lavender and geranium oil, comparing their effect at those students. The experiment demonstrated that 78% of the participating students that used lavender had neutral or reduced anxiety after the beginning of this experiment. So because of that, I chose the lavender oil. To consolidate the proposal of a comfortable environment, I used as bibliography a book called Environment, Perception, and Behavior, an holistic vision of architecture from Professor Jun Okamoto. He talks about the sense of perception, and he mentions this book of Kent Bloomer when he explains about the haptic sense. He considers that all the senses allow us to feel the environment, not only by touch specifically. That is why I refer to the tact stimulus in all other senses. And here I explain the use of the colors and textures at the psychological level. And that's why I prefer to use light color tones, wooden materials, and natural elements to reach my objectives. Still talking about visual comfort, the clinic already has a window at the waiting room, so I decided to propose a light cover for indirect lighting, avoiding discomfort and blinding, linked to the natural light coming from outside. I found this research by a physiotherapist in my city, Salvador, Bahia, that talks about simulating neuroplasticity in therapeutic environments. He studied the morphological organization of 8 clinics in Salvador, talking about sensations and how they reflect on brain physiology and morphology, explaining through references from other researchers, proving that environment stimulation can recover some brain injuries. And in this research, he stresses that therapeutic environments has to stimulate patient self-esteem and sense of competence, showing some points that can help in this result, including natural light. And finally, I propose as an acoustic solution the Next Acoustics panels on the wall extension and on the balcony cover. The same wood materials that I mentioned in the visual comfort part. The Next Acoustic panels are made of medium density fiberboard that we call MDF with an internal wool fibers which absorb the average sound frequencies emitted from the human voice, lowering the reverberation time coming from conversations in the waiting room. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope you liked it.